Welcome to Create, Explore, and Communicate. This is Lahaina High School's public speaking class, and we've taken our panel discussions and we've turned them into a podcast discussion. This has been an opportunity for my students to explore topics of interest to them, research it, and put it together and have a meaningful discussion in a real-world audience setting. So sit back and enjoy this, our podcast of Lahaina High School's public speaking class. Here is Jonathan Torres' podcast on the legalization of marijuana with a little help from Katrina Horner.
I don't know if any of you guys actually know the scientific name for marijuana, from which it comes from, but the actual name of it is cannabis sativa. You may ask yourself how many chemicals are actually in cannabis sativa, and there's basically about 400 chemicals, also including THC. I'm not sure many people really knew that, but that's another interesting fact. Another way it's used is people obviously smoke it, but in order in which they are to smoke it, the leaves from the plant are dehydrated and then crushed into particles in which they can use like a type of tobacco to obviously smoke.
Our next topic is it's why it should be legalized, and this is a question that is very talked about right now. Some people ask, would it benefit the government? And a lot of people see it as benefiting the government because it can be taxed and it can possibly create a product profit. Other people see it as not so beneficial because it can harm the human body. A lot of doctors and physicians actually say yes, that they believe it should be legalized because it's very therapeutic and it helps those who have a variation of sicknesses and diseases.
And also keep in mind that behind the reasoning why doctors and physicians think that it should be legalized is because there's other ways in which they can promote the use of marijuana. Like they don't have to necessarily smoke it. They can drink, add it in food and stuff, just so that way they can get the effect of the medicine in which they prescribe the marijuana for.
It can kind of also pose a threat because some people can obtain too much THC and it can permanently damage people's health.
Another one that you kind of keep in mind is why shouldn't it be legalized? You kind of think to yourself, if legalized, what are the effects? If you think about it in an overall sense, the crime rate will possibly lower, but it can create a harmful fat over time that it can eventually be harmful towards people's health over time. Kind of a big effect if you think about it. Another thing you might keep in mind is how harmful do you think it is to your lungs? You may think about it, but a lot of scientists and doctors say that the equivalent of one joint is about double the amount of a cigarette, which also includes the other extra 400 chemicals, being the THC being the number one ingredient, as well as you think about cigarettes, how much chemicals are in them. Another thing is, can marijuana cause cancer? The response to that is because it obtains so much of the same ingredients as tobacco, as well as the other extra 400 chemicals, it's actually more dangerous and eventually over time can cause precancerous stages in your lungs earlier than possibly a cigarette would.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting that people say it can't be addictive or it can't harm your body when really it has just as much, if not more, than all the smoking and all the other drugs going around. Overall, marijuana has its pros and cons in a society as far as health and political reasons. It has benefits as therapeutics for patients to high risk of precancerous stages. Pretty much it's your choice. It's up to you. Should you pick up that substance for your next high or for a type of medicine, or do you think for your future and possibly others and how it can affect that situation? But overall, ask yourself, Should marijuana be legalized?
Thank you for joining me, Jonathon Torres and Katrina Horner. Thank you, and you guys have a great day.